Hey, Wellness Patriots! Welcome to another Wellness Patriot video. We're headed into the colder winter months, and I wanted to talk about some ways that we can stay well and stay healthy during this time of year and boost our immune system during a time of year that a lot of people refer to as cold and flu season. I wanted to just bring up some basic reminders of things that we can do to take charge of our health at this time. I don't know about you, but I personally also wonder how much of cold and flu season has to do with bacteria and viruses running rampant during the winter months, and how much of it has to do with a lack of sunlight, lack of vitamin D, possible lack of nutrients, people not staying as hydrated enough, and things like that. So I thought I could bring up a few ways today that might be helpful to stay healthy during this time. So the first thing that came to my mind is ginger. So I really love ginger, especially for the winter months because it's so warming and it has a lot of different ways that it can help us and support the body. Ginger can decrease inflammation, and it can also lower cholesterol and chronic pain, and it's supportive to the digestive system, which I find it interesting that it almost reminds me of like the shape of a stomach, and it's supporting to that part of the body. When I ever get sick, so if I already have a cold, there's this go-to tea that I make, and I can't really take credit for it. My son's dad taught me about making it, but I'll just chop up pieces of fresh ginger, chop up pieces of fresh garlic, lemon, and some raw honey. Blend all that, not blend it together, but put all that together, boil all the herbs, and add the honey and add lemon to it. So that is my go-to for when I get sick. You can use ginger in a number of ways. You can drink ginger tea in the morning, and it can be preventative as well, and it can also help with killing viruses and things like that. So ginger is one of my favorites for winter, so definitely a go-to, and the first one I wanted to bring up. There's going to be a lot more I could say about all these things, but it's just a quick overview of certain things that we can utilize to boost our immune system and stay well during the winter. So the next one I wanted to bring up is elderberry. I guess you want to consume the berries cooked already, but they are very nutritious. You can use them preventatively, or you could use elderberry as well if you already caught something. Elderberries have vitamin B6, iron, vitamin C, and fiber, and they're very low in sugar, so they won't spike your blood sugar as well, like a lot of berries. A lot of berries are low in sugar and glycemic levels, so they are a great superfood. Vitamin C, of course. Some foods that are high in vitamin C are citrus fruits, and actually red bell pepper is twice as high in vitamin C. And interestingly enough, as a side note, red bell pepper is good for your skin as well. You can take a daily dose of vitamin C because the body actually doesn't produce or store vitamin C. So consuming it in your food daily or taking a supplement is not only a good idea, it's quite necessary. So I think that, so on the note of vitamins and supplements, I think that it's very important to get as much of our nutrients and vitamins through our food as possible. However, the situation that we are in, unfortunately, today is that the soils that foods are grown in have become so depleted that the quality of crops that we are consuming is not as high of quality as it used to be. So, it's still a good idea to try to get as much nutrients as we can from our fruits and our vegetables and also our animal products. However, I think it's become quite necessary to find high quality supplements to supplement these things with as well. So I do both. Another thing is in the winter to make sure we stay hydrated. It is a lot colder outside, of course, so of course during the warmer weather we remember to drink water more. We're drinking more beverages. And then when it's colder, I think we forget that we're thirsty as much, or we drink more hot beverages like hot chocolate or coffee or things like that. So we need to remember to continue to drink plenty of water. Sometimes our body isn't absorbing as much water as we need to, so something we can do about that is add a little bit of a high quality salt to it. Another thing you can do with your water that's beneficial is adding some lime, squeezing some fresh lime juice into the water as well. So I think that's a big one right there. Once winter hits, a lot of people forget to stay as hydrated, and I think that does lead to people getting sick a lot more often or having certain issues a lot more often. The next thing is, of course, just continue to get plenty of exercise. I don't know if exercise necessarily goes down in the winter, but I think a mindset a lot of people get is that, it's just like cold, it's raining outside, you don't want to go anywhere, you kind of just want to be cozy, you want to watch a lot of movies, eat comfort foods and things like that. So, of course, remembering to have, if you have a routine you do, if you have goals that you make, that always helps as well. Another thing is that you can do is go in the sauna. I love going in the sauna. You sweat out a lot of toxins and a lot of bad things that you consume. A sauna is a great way to sweat it back out, and it boosts your immune system as well. Along with that, you can do a cold bath or a cold shower. That has been proven to boost your immune system. So like my son, for example, he'll do a cold shower. He doesn't really have a lot of access to like a cold bath. I mean, you could go in the bathtub at home too, but sometimes it's easier just to turn on a cold shower. You could visit a sauna and you can go 10 minutes in the sauna, and then you can go get out and take a cold shower for a couple of minutes and then go back into the sauna. That's beneficial as well. And another benefit of doing a cold bath or a cold shower is that it helps your body acclimate to cold better, so that it's not such a shock it's not such a shock to the body. And when our body is not as used to the cold, then it has to work harder, to acclimate to it. So, which takes more energy, which puts more stress on the immune system. So that can help. During the holidays, we go from Halloween to Thanksgiving to Christmas and whatever else in between. And we eat a lot of sugar during those times. We visit family, we bake, these delicious baked goods, we eat candy, beverages that are high in sugar. So I think a smart thing to do is, not necessarily say, oh, I'm not going to eat any of those things, or be super unnecessarily strict or hard on ourselves, but just to watch that sugar intake. If you've already had some for the day, maybe that's enough for the day, however you want to do it, but just to be aware of it. I think sugar is another huge one. It's just interesting how sugar intake during this season goes up so high, and illness goes up so high as well. So it's something to think about, and just our diet in general, to not eat so many processed foods. There's plenty of foods for the holidays that we can eat that are healthy for us, so focusing more on that. Our diet can do a lot for us in keeping us healthy and getting the nutrients, the minerals that we need, the vitamins that we need. So I think it's easy to turn to a lot of processed foods in the winter. We just kind of get in that mode, like a nesting, kind of cozy, even almost like a lazy mode, honestly. So just being aware of that will help, because like I said, the consumption of these foods goes up, including sugar, processed foods, and so does rates of illness. So it's just something to look at and be aware of, and think, could those two have something to do with each other? I think they might. So diet kind of leads me to mention garlic. 1 clove of garlic, interestingly, has 5 milligrams of calcium, 12 milligrams of potassium, and 100 sulfuric compounds. Garlic can also kill parasites and lower blood sugar. I also read an article at one time that I don't think this is realistic to do, but if you did eating 1 clove of garlic a day, they said this, according to this article I read, they said you will not get a cold, you will not get sick. So garlic can be a great preventative. They do have supplements, garlic supplements. You can just use it in your cooking. You can make a tea with it, like I mentioned before. So that tea, again, is chopping up pieces of ginger and garlic, boiling that, and then adding lemon juice, or you can just chop up lemon and throw it in there as well, and adding raw honey to it. You could even add cayenne to it, so that can be even a preventative, or it can be very helpful if you already caught something. So garlic is a huge one for this season that will be very helpful. And I find it to be a warming, I guess it's an herb, right? Warming as well, like ginger is. It warms the body, which is very nice during the winter. Another thing that affects our immune system is our gut health. So I think it's a good idea to find a high quality probiotic, and to find foods that have live and fermented components to it, such as there's sauerkrauts that do, there's kimchi, some people drink kombuchas. I would try and find the best quality kombucha you can, because a lot of them are also high in sugar, so that's something to keep in mind as well for kombucha. But as a society in our country, our consumption of fermented foods has gone down, if at all. If like most people, I don't think, consume it at all anymore. However, in the past it's been a necessity, because fermenting foods is a great way to preserve foods. And so when people are canning foods and storing foods, we used to do a lot more fermenting of them, and that's not really as common anymore. And so also gut health has decreased basically in recent times as well. So both have happened. So something to think about. There's also foods that irritate the gut, the gut lining. One example is if you drink vegan milks, like almond milk, like the major brands of almond milk, if you're not making it yourself at home, there's certain gums when you read the ingredients, you see certain gums, and those can be irritating to the gut the gut lining as well. So all these things I'm mentioning is worth looking into in more depth yourself. Especially gut health, I think, is a huge thing to look into as well. That will be really helpful in staying well and boosting the immune system. It also has connections with mental health. They say the gut is the second brain, so it's just something that is largely overlooked, and it can be super helpful to us to look more into it. The last thing that I want to mention right now is to still make an effort to make sure we get outside and get some sunlight, even if it's just getting some sun on our face. It's a lot colder outside, so we tend to want to just stay indoors, shut the door, shut the window. It might even be dark in our house. We're running a vent, we're recycling air, we're breathing in dust, we're breathing in candles, possibly with all these chemicals in the candles, air fresheners, house cleaners, all the pollutants inside of our house. So even remembering to let some fresh air into your home, even though it's cold. So I think we forget these things because it's so cold, we just want to stay warm. So we forget to drink water, we forget to get fresh air as much. So just remembering it's still important. Maybe, part of the day, opening your window for even at least a few minutes. And what I've been doing is just making an effort to go on a walk when I can, if it's not raining every day. And we still, like you can see behind me, there's a lot of sun shining today, so we went out and it was pretty nice, and we still got some sun on our face. I've forgotten to do that a lot too during the winter, like I said, because it just gets so cold. You want to be inside. You just want to be cozy, like reading a book or watching a movie, I think, a lot. So that can be nice to have those days, but we need to not get caught in making a habit of those things though too, and to continue to make it a habit of getting out, going for even a run or a jog or a walk, and still getting some type of outdoor exercise. So hopefully any of those little tips and reminders can be helpful. Probably it's all basically common knowledge that a lot of people know, so it's just good thing. It's a good thing, I think, to just like go through those things as a reminder at the very least. And if there's anything super important and obvious, or just anything that I forgot that you like to do, please feel free to leave a comment and let me know ways that you like to stay healthy during the winter, what helps your mental health, what helps your immune system, what helps you stay well during these darker, colder winter times. So thanks for watching. Take care.